Hi, everybody, and welcome to our week number 15 Twitch live stream for my research methods class. It is May 7th. Hard to believe that it's May and that we are in the second to last week of our class. I want to go over what we have going on for this week and kind of mention a few things for next week for those of you who are wanting to work a little bit ahead. I know there aren't too many of you in here with me, but can you hear and see my cat? Can you hear and see me okay before I continue? If someone could let me know in the chat, that would be fantastic. If everything is coming through. All right, perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And forgive me, I'm definitely fighting a little bit of like something. So, so sorry if I'm a little kind of scratchy or coffee today. Luckily, you don't have to be anywhere near me, so you won't get anything, but I'm so sorry about that. But let's go ahead and head over to Canvas together. And if we scroll all the way down, we are here, right? We are in week number 16. So we have this week and next week, and that's literally all that we have left of our semester. I know this is a really like busy and chaotic time, so hang in there. Don't forget to take care of yourselves and make some time for yourself as well. I know that things are really hectic, but we're almost there. So, and I have this here, but don't forget our class officially ends not this Sunday, but next Sunday, which is May 18th at 11:59 p.m. So we have everything from this week and next week, and then we are done, right? So it's coming, right? Hang in there. We're definitely very close. I'm telling you, and also myself, right? We're almost there. So if we look right now, we are in week number 16. So this is the last kind of like typical week that we have where we have a lecture video, and a discussion along with the extra credit. And then week number 17 is open for you and has been open if you wanted to take the final, if you wanted to submit your experiment proposal project. And then there's a couple of like little miscellaneous things like an anonymous closing survey and a student learning outcome question. So I just wanted to kind of point those out that everything is open for next week if you were wanting to work on that stuff. But of course, next week when we do our last live stream, I will cover the exam and the study guide and the proposal project. But those of you who are ready to kind of wrap things up, that it is all open for you. And again, remember that our class officially ends on Sunday, May 18th at 11:59 p.m. So let's take a look at what we have going on this week, which is chapter 4. And then we have discussion 16 and then some extra credit with this live stream that you're joining me for right now. So if you click on chapter 4, this is the last chapter that we're reading in our textbook. You're almost there. You've almost made it. So this one is all about ethical guidelines for research in psychology, something that's obviously really important and hasn't always been around. And so you have your learning objectives and summary, looking at like a couple of very famous studies, like the Tuskegee syphilis study, the Milgram obedience study, some of those ethical principles and standards and animal research and so on. On the Beyond the Book page, there's some stuff about other famous experiments like the Stanford Prison Experiment, Watson and behaviorism, and then like the one with dogs learning to have helpless behavior. It's just a couple of other kind of unethical studies before we had some of these guidelines, just to again kind of reiterate the importance of them. And then on the last page, we have all of our key terms that you need to know for the exam. These are all the things from chapter 4 that you'll need to know for the final. And the final is a little bit cumulative in the sense that everything is kind of building on what came before it. So make sure as you're preparing for the final that you review the study guide. I did try to give you a couple of hints as to things that you might want to kind of go back and revisit, just things that will show up on the test. Again, more on that next week, but just to mention it in case you are ready to go. So make sure you read through the lecture or listen to it if you would prefer. Don't forget to also watch the lecture video. This is me lecturing to some PowerPoint slides about ethical research in psychology. Don't forget to take notes and kind of pay attention. Of course, you're reading the chapter in the textbook to get kind of the bulk of your information. And then we do have a discussion this week, discussion number 16, your last discussion. I get sentimental at the end. Forgive me for all of the lasts. I will probably be even worse next week when we're on our last live stream. But as always, you have my instructions followed by a little video, which I really encourage that you watch. What you have here are two little short scenarios related to chapter 4. So you have scenario 1 and scenario 2. And so you'll read through those, and then for each of them, you're going to answer these two questions. So you're answering them for each study. So, what are the ethical concerns for the study? Be specific. Make sure that you're referencing specific concepts from the chapter in order to earn full credit. And then, what questions might an IRB, an International Review Board, ask about the research study? So, you're kind of picking them apart as if it were potentially unethical. Like, what are some of the questions they would ask? What are the concerns? Make sure you're referencing those specific topics. You can see a few of you have already done this. When you're ready, you'll hit reply. And then don't forget to also reply to a classmate to get those kind of 2 easy points. And most of you have been doing really well on these discussions. If you find that you keep missing like a point or two, again, don't forget to elaborate, give me plenty of information, and make sure you're showing off your knowledge and understanding. Other than that, all we have other than that this week is the extra credit, which I'll give you in a moment, and I will of course post the recording. Kind of one last easy light week, which is why I wanted to open up next week for those of you who maybe wanted to get that head start. So again, you have the exam and the study guide, and if you click on the study guide, you'll see that it has APA Part 3, Chapter 14, Chapter 4 from this week. And then, as I mentioned a moment ago, I gave you a couple of like cumulative past unit things that you might want to review because they will show up on the exam. So this exam is a tiny bit like more involved in the sense that it does have a couple of those cumulative elements. It's still worth 50 points. You still have the same amount of time, but there are a couple of kind of cumulative pieces, which should make sense as we've kind of built on everything that we've learned so far. So I do have a couple of reminders for you. Otherwise, this one's kind of short and sweet this week, unless any of you do have any questions for me regarding next week or anything for this week. Otherwise, I have also under here, you'll see the experiment proposal project. I posted a couple of sample papers and sample flyers for you in case you wanted to kind of see what other people have done. Sometimes it's really helpful to kind of get a look at. Otherwise, let me give you a couple of quick reminders. I did type this out earlier. Quite a few of you, if not almost all of you, have your subscriptions have fallen off. So if you could take just a moment to double check that. I know we only have 2 weeks left, but it does still save me quite a bit of time and effort. So I appreciate you for doing that. And if you're watching this later, it's the only way you can still get that kind of extra credit for watching this video. The other thing, let me copy and paste the extra credit question for you. Oh, and then I have the reminder about our last live stream. So let me put that in there as well. If you're looking ahead, it's next Wednesday. Our last Twitch live stream will be on Wednesday, May 14th at 1 o'clock p.m. Okay, so that will be our very last live stream. Next week, I'll go over the closing assignment, that experimental proposal project. I'll go over the exam a little bit more. So if you have any questions, that'd be a really wonderful time to ask me. Should the project video, paper, and flyer be posted together? Can you post them? Yeah, so you can post them separately or together. So what a lot of people will do is post them as 3 separate files. You don't have to post them all on the same day. I won't be grading them until probably the end anyway, once the deadline is passed. So let's say you have one done today and one done in a couple of days. You could post them separately, or you could wait and post them all together. It's totally fine. I likely won't be grading them until the class has ended. That deadline has passed. I hope that's what you were asking. If not, then feel free to kind of rephrase. I hope that makes sense on my end to you as well. Let me, while I'm waiting for you to see if that answered your question, let me put the extra credit question in here for you. So this is the week number 16 Twitch extra credit question, week number 16. I still can't believe that we're in week 16, that we just have this week and next week. So your question is, what are the APA's 5 general ethical principles? You just need to list them, but what are the APA's 5 general ethical principles? Go ahead and list them, and when you're ready, you'll go back to Canvas, and since we're in week number 16, you'll click on optional Twitch extra credit number 16 right here. And then up at the top, click on Start Assignment. There we go. And it'll bring up that box where you can type your response. And then when you're ready, go ahead and hit submit to get your confetti burst. And Are those ninjas? Yeah, I've never seen that one before. Ooh, very exciting. So, confetti and ninjas. Let's see what yours will be. But those are the things for this week. Again, like kind of a typical, usual week. And then next week, there's no reading or anything that's due. It's just the final exam and the experimental proposal project and a few little miscellaneous things. Again, kind of short and sweet, trying to be really mindful of your time. I know everyone is kind of feeling the crunch of the end of the semester and feeling a little overwhelmed. What I will do obviously is hang out for a few minutes. If you do have any questions for me, I'm more than happy to answer them. And if you don't, then you can take off and go work on those things. Make sure again that you're taking care of yourself and hanging in there. Remind yourself that we are so close to the end. So hang in there. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you're not alone. We're all kind of in that spot right now. So very, very close. Enjoy the beautiful weather if that's your thing. I'm missing the rain today. It's all hot and sunny. I want the cold, rainy weather back. But I'm going to minimize my video so I'm not staring at myself. But if you do have any questions for me, I'm here and I would be more than happy to answer them. Otherwise, thank you all so much. I appreciate all of you who keep joining me every week or watching these recordings later on. And of course, if you think of any questions later, you can email me or I'll be here for a few more minutes if you want to put them in there now. Either one's totally fine. But thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad that answered your question. You too have a wonderful, wonderful day. And like I said, we're almost there, so definitely hang in there. You're welcome. Thank you as well. Thank you for being here with me live. I really appreciate it. And I am still here. Like I said, I minimized my video, but I am still here if you have any questions. And I am still here. I'll hang out for another minute. It looks like most of you have logged off, but I am still here if you think of any questions at all.